everyone, and welcome to Zeepkist Cup of the Day. For those of you who don't know how this works, we get 10 minutes to practice a map we have never seen before, after which there will be 2-minute elimination rounds where the slowest players get eliminated. This week we've got a map by Mokster, Feeling Blue. Mokster's been doing a lot of these monochromatic maps lately. Interesting, I like how this is starting. A little confused. I feel like this is not where I'm supposed to be. Hey, I found my way out. Yeah, okay. I'm missing some checkpoints. I was like, this is like a 35-second map. Alright, so you hit this. I came out here. What the heck? I'm so confused, and I'm not the only one. Nick has a time. Why don't you show me how it's done? Nick has a 57-second time, so, maybe not. This is confusing. I've never been this confused by a map before. Yeah, that's what I did, is it not? Oh, there's a lap at the end. I'm dumb. Thanks, Nick. I don't know why I didn't see. Maybe my checkpoint force field settings are not good for this map. Because they do fade out a little bit early. Yeah, rotor, same thing. Don't go to the end. We have to do the other things. Do we have to do this too? Yes. And then stay, and then back up. It's a very long spiral. Interesting. Alright, 47.6, AT is a 45. That makes more sense than my first run. I feel like I do have to do an obligatory cheese check just to see if there's anything that could happen here. I don't think so. I think this checkpoint's too low for any real shenanigans. Okay. This might actually be something I'm kind of good at, even though it was confusing at first. I think the lines... This start for sure is kind of... Oh, well, maybe not. I like these tube transitions, though. Kern almost hit that wall there. Oh, that's not the way you do that. I think I'm trying too hard to oscillate the very first transition. There's no need to do that. I am up 3 speed. 147. This checkpoint's going to be a little more telling. 191. And then probably stay low there. Oh yeah, that felt nice. And stay low here too, because it's such a long wall ride and you just want to have more speed. Back up. That's surprisingly smooth, those transitions, and into and out of that wall ride. Yeah, it's a 45.5. One more thing I want to look at here. Because this doesn't look smooth, but it seemed smooth when I went over it. Nobody's coming to this section of the track, of course. I'm wondering if you do want to do more of a middle line to avoid hitting the edge of that road piece. I guess we'll find out. I have 5 minutes still to test lines. This is not the easiest track to sight read. This should be fun to optimize. My one, like, kind of complaint about this track, well, besides the sight readability of it, my one kind of complaint is that that feels very AFK around that wall ride. Okay, 5th place into the 44s, but not really with the top 4, which I guess makes sense. Curran Maki, quick racer round, they were very fast. Got 2 of them right in front of me here. I did not get the cleanest first tube transition. And so Curran really tries to do that without turning at all. I've been dropping a little bit lower to try to gain speed early, but maybe I'm losing speed later with that strategy. I feel like there hasn't been much advantage to coming down later. Like, I kind of think you just hit those road pieces. The ones I was scared of being too harsh. I think you just hit that straight on. CP1 is not a very useful speed split, I think. Just based on where it is. But CP2 is. So we really want to keep an eye on checkpoint 2 speeds. We're seeing Sandals and Hydro and me doing that oscillation that I was trying earlier. I am just as fast without it, though. I feel like that corner is going to be a lot of the time in Cup. How tightly... How tightly you can take that corner, because it's going to do a lot with both your time and your speed. I'm getting 192 there. I'll try the oscillation again and see if I get better times or better speeds. I do hit 200 right there, which actually might even things out a little bit. It's not a very prolonged stint at 200, but the game does kind of restrain your speed at 200 plus. I could totally see myself ruining a run by getting out of that wall ride super poorly. Let's try this because I'm running out of time again. Maki's not doing it. And down speed again. I feel like that's more of an ice bobsled practice, which would explain why Sandals and Hydro were the ones doing it. But I don't actually think you save any speed by getting a little pre-oscillation on the left side. Not really sure yet the cleanest line between wall ride and tube at the beginning either. Like, do you want to go down later like that? 192, which is good. And this turn, I think, is so much to get that tight to the inside. I'm down speed. No more time to complete another run in the warm-ups, but I do kind of want to play with this beginning a tiny bit before we get into elimination rounds. $191. That's kind of the most straightforward way of doing it. But if you stayed a little bit higher, maybe you get a smoother transition. That does feel pretty good, though. 47 players, very stacked lobby at the top. Not very often that we get Maki and Kern, both of them tied with 22 Cup of the Day wins. They'll be fighting it out for first place on the all-time leaderboard. Sandals looks fast here, Pants looks fast here, Round looks fast as always. $91, even with a little bit of a shake there. That's higher on the wall ride than I want to be. This is not the greatest run, but let's set a time down. First things first. Oh, that was not a clean transition either. I think this is going to be a map I end up struggling with just because I am going to not be very consistent with the transitions into and out of that wall ride. 46.6 is, yeah, it's not good, but it's a time. I did make a lot of kind of small mistakes that added up on that run. Ooh, I liked that tube line. And get down into the wall ride. Well, that wasn't clean either. It's, yeah, it's still better than my previous run. Here's an idea. Could you hypothetically do what Hydro's doing? Yes, you could. Jump from down here and hit the bottom of the finish. Weak Knees is doing it also. Ooh, I don't know if Weak Knees got it. Maki's looking at it. Yeah, he saw that. 4 DNFs for the first 4 eliminations. Kind of surprised, actually. I feel like this is a track people would mess up in a short round timer. Looks like Pants was the fastest in round 1. Just hitting that 200 speed, making my speed go red at the bottom right of the screen. Pretty clean into the wall ride. Let's try to drop low a little bit and pick up some speed as we go around this very long wall ride. Almost 360 degrees. And we'll take a safe finish, is what I'll call it. For now, is that a personal best? It's very close. Yes, it is. And then I'll start trying that jump risky fin, if you want to call it that. .201 speed that time, actually. I was very fast. Might have, yeah, I turned too much in that tube. Need to let the tube do the turning for me there. Pants again in first place. I came up too early. That sucks. Interesting. I clipped through the road and then still missed the finish with my body. Ooh, actual goose trying it and not making it. That is going to be the faster line because you're jumping from a lower part of the track. Weak Knees just getting through that time. Maki into the 43s. Is that record? That is record. The first 43. Actually, people being surprisingly consistent on this track, I have to say. didn't feel great, but let's see what the speed is here. It's 192, which is pretty good. Yeah, stay a little higher so that the tube does the turning for you. Ah, that was not good. We'll just take a finish as usual. Lost some speed on the wall ride transition for sure. Still a 44 actually, not far off my PB. I think the run overall was good. It was just one little mistake getting into the wall ride. There are 3 people in the top 5 right now. 3 in the top 4 that have 4 of a kind with 4 4s. I'm not really understanding the speed at the beginning. How, like, the way I do the tubes is affecting me. I should be able to have a cleaner wall ride, though. And I should try this risky again, also, because I don't need an improvement right now. From here, jump up. Oop, I clipped through the road again. I keep hitting the finish ring. Keep hitting the finish ring instead of even going into it, even if I clip through the bottom. You see a few people trying it. Nails failing, but he is safe. Or maybe he got the time. 2 more DNFs. I wonder if that's people trying that risky. I know Goose was going for it in the previous round. I think this might be kind of a long cup since we didn't have a whole bunch of DNFs early on. It's only 4 at a time getting knocked out. $192 again, a 13.46. I'm going to start keeping track of the times there as well. I know I've had like 159 at that checkpoint, so it's not the greatest speed. That is a personal best, though. That was a very clean ending is what that was. Perfect. Kerncobb and Mackie. Very different lines at the start. Kerncobb goes very high, swings down into these tubes smoothly. 192 just ticking 193 speed. Mackie was going very low around the start. $161 there. This is pretty much what I expect. Pretty much the same lines I'm doing, just cleaner. And then he's going to go for this jump at the end. Does not get it. So not very safe, that jump. Pants gets into the 43s. Is that world record? No, because Mackie had said a 0.8. So Kerner's going very high at the beginning, swinging down. That's not better for me. Maybe I did it wrong, but I don't know. I'll take a second place, though, ahead of Kerncobb, Mackie, Hydro, Quick Racer. That's pretty good. Still going to be 4 eliminations for a while longer. I didn't see if there were DNFs that time. Very late swing into that tube. Let's see what my speed is. 192, though. A little bit of a slide out. It shouldn't matter too much because we're going to hit just about 200 down here. 199, sure. That was not great either, but at this point, let's take a time. I don't have time for 2 runs anymore. Pretty solid ending, but it was a rough start. So still a 44.6 though. That'll be pretty safe for a while yet. Pants with the .8. Pants does not have a Cup of the Day win. Might be somebody to look out for. For those of you who like to root for new winners. I think I lost some speed there. Definitely this track in particular, Pants has been competing with everybody else at the top. That felt good. I'm not sure how I got the 159 speed that one time. Running a few speeds short of what Kerncobb was doing at the bottom of that wall ride. I cannot get that risky jump. No one else coming to the finish. 2 DNFs again that round. We did have everybody finish in the previous round. We're looking at sub 47s being the cutoff here. Which is fine because I'm doing 44.6 on a mediocre run. That was an interesting line that might actually work out. Now, 192. I swear I've seen .462 there like many times already. Oh dear. That's such a sucky time to reset because you just barely don't have 2 completed runs, especially when the sort of risky finish is the part that's messing me up. That felt clean, but it's still a few speeds short of where I'd like to be there. I don't quite understand. That's pretty good though. 178 at that checkpoint. I'm happy with that. Ooh, do I get a second run actually? I do. 5 of a kind! All 4s. Let's go. I win. Well, I don't get a second run now. Let's watch Sandals, because Sandals doesn't have time. Kern doesn't have a time either. Sandals is going safe. Where is Kerncobb? Kerncobb also goes safe to get the finish. I wonder if they went risky on the first run. That's why they were missing a time. Alex fails the risky jump. I'm not seeing a lot of people actually getting the jump to the finish. So yeah, 46.4. Big drop in the elimination times that round. We're seeing most people left having 44s and 45s. The occasional 43. Hydro, I think, did get the risky jump. Maki still holds record with the .812. Ow. I was cutting it close. I knew that was coming. I was cutting it close. I didn't really like that start anyway. Felt like my transitions into the tubes were poor. Into the half pipes, I guess, is more accurate. Kerncobb with the 43 this time. Wonder if that was with the risky jump. So it seems like the top players are trying to go for that. I'm more of a safe finish first, risky jump second time kind of person. I'm not leaving everything to chance on one run. I do have just enough time, as long as I don't mess up the beginning like last round. Still don't quite understand the tube section at the start. I do know that this is pretty fast, though. I liked that line through that section as well. Struggled a little, but it was smooth to get into the wall ride. Yeah, this is a very good time. Little late coming out of the wall ride, and then I'm going to fail this. Hey. How many times have I hit that finish ring? Snipe right at the end. I'm not sure if that was for first place, but Quick Racer does put in a 0.9. We got 3 people in the 43s now. And Pants having a bad run, getting knocked out. I'm sorry, I cast her cursed. Hopes for a new winner have tanked drastically. $193, and then of course I slid out on the next turn. But how do I get 193 again? Ah, that was rough. Is this good enough to get me out of this round? Or do I could just try the risky jump now. Of course I don't get it. But I think whatever run I do now is going to be better than that one. And I'm a little afraid with how close everybody left has been. A slightly off run like that might just be me eliminated. Oops. Still have time. I'm guessing Hydro went for the risky also, which is why they don't have a time on the board. Kind of awkward tube entrances at the start. It's not my quickest start, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of time variation in the first 2 checkpoints. $158. Okay, how did I get good speed that time? I'm confused by that checkpoint split. And I'm going to get the 180 there, too. I went a little higher on the wall ride than I'd like to have. 6th place with the 44.3. Man, it's crazy how fast some of the top players are going. And Hydro is going to get knocked out. Got a bad time. I almost wonder if he went for the risky and had like a janky ending, and that's where he lost his time. Or maybe he just did what I did, had to slide out on the wall ride or clipped a wheel and the corners coming up to that. It's possible. But Hydro knocked out one of the faster racers in the previous few rounds. One by one, the fast racers are getting knocked out by what I imagine is just over-pushing the track. Trying to get too much out of it. I don't understand speeds there at all. Oh, that was not very clean. I think this is enough to get me through a round of 3 eliminations with 15 players left. Kind of a strange jump to the finish. Quick Racer at the .78, new world record. Felt like a good start. I liked those tubes. 192 speed. I swear I have the same time split every time. It varies by like 5 thousandths at most. That felt really nice also. That one I understand is a 159. Yeah, just do that. Keep doing runs like this. 183 down there. Lost a little bit. Let's go for the risky just cuz. Oh, and I got it for the first time. First place world record. Let's go. I'm never going to do that again. World record by a lot, also. Is anybody coming to the end? Mackie is, so there goes my world record. Yeah! Wow. I can't believe I've actually predicted that. Huge world record, Maki. Top 3 times put down in that round. Quick Racer's .786, that's third on the podium right now, was the world record when that got set. That was Weak Knees, Agix, and Rotor getting knocked out. 2 eliminations. YOLO and St. Nick have been hanging on for a long time also. I keep seeing their names at the bottom of the leaderboard when we load in. Only 156. I'm just gonna take a safe finish. 44-0, that's pretty good. 4th place, Quick Racer, again with the .6. Beats my personal best from last round. World records are tumbling, man. The times are coming down so fast. You don't usually see this mid-cup. I do have a little bit of time to reset. I should have reset, but I do want practice at this end jump. Sandals stays high on the wall ride. Which I feel like is just losing you time. I am so slow. Oh, Sandals does a very interesting jump, though. He actually goes very low. I think that maybe helps him avoid hitting the track above. Maki again snipes 1st place. Round needs a time, is taking a safe finish, but it's not enough. Very slow crawling up to the finish. Round and St. Nicholas with a 46.2 are going to get knocked out this time. Everybody left 45 or better. Actually, only 3 45s left as well. A very strong top 5 left, myself included, I guess, if I can brag about that. Kind of an unusual rest of the top 10, though. Some names in there we don't usually see. It's exciting to see the number of new players that are actually able to compete for top 10 spots. Or just the general level of players' skill overall. Track dependent a little bit, but it seems like we see new people at the edges of the top 10 every week. That was so low. So Sandals stays high around that wall ride, which it just doesn't make sense to me. It's a little bit of a more direct line, if you can call it that, but you do gain speed by going lower, as is the rules of physics. And it's such a long wall ride that I kind of feel like you're just wasting time, even if you have to steer a little bit more to get low into the wall ride. It's so long that I feel like it's got to be saving you time to have that extra speed all the way around the bottom of that spiral. Yeah, I felt like I turned a lot there, which explains why Maki's passing me. Maki kind of splits the difference, does a relatively low steering method of still dropping down and back up. Maki kind of does the low jump also. I think that makes sense. Staying low so that you don't hit your head coming to the finish, even if you still can get a finish by doing that. I think that's probably the safest way of doing it, and it seems like there's nobody in the big spiral section at the end. So that's going to be YOLO and Wheelie eliminated. Pretty sure this is Wheelie's first time in the top 10, so a good performance from them. I think Mew and Me1234 might be looking for a Cup of the Day personal bests as well. Maki with a .4. My god, I just saw that. Maki's getting so fast. Looking to pull ahead of Current again. Both of them with 22 Cup wins. 0.5 is not a good time there. Maybe I shouldn't be resetting for, like, 200ths at the beginning, when the beginning's not the part that really matters. Actually, that was like a full 10th down, so maybe a wise reset. Should I be going for the riskies? I do have 2 attempts. I think I go for the risky. Oh, that's not great speed. But I think I understand, like, the safe line of doing the risky now. Here comes Curran, I think, flying past me. So you kind of stay low and then do this jump up. And even if I do smash into the road, it's going to be a more consistent way of having a death finish as well. Because of the angle you have when you die. So I think that's actually a pretty safe way of doing the risky finish. I, however, am not safe with that 44.5. Quick Racer says that might be me out. You're in 3rd place, dude. Wasn't the cleanest transition. Kern kind of stays middle there also. I don't think I'm improving here, actually, and Mew has passed me. I did have the death bin. Nah, still not enough. A 10th behind Mew. And Mackie is going for the slowest finish possible. Current Cobb with 8.6. That's going to be me and me1, 2, 3, 4 out in 7th and 8th. And it's starting to look like Kern versus Mackie at the top. So let's pull up the player comparison brought to you by Arms Up Airlines. Kern Cobb and just Mackie, actually shockingly similar stats, like all across the board. Both of them possibly competing for the most wins in this cup. You see Kern Cobb take an early reset. Oh, I can't follow in spectator mode behind this. Got 3 people on their first run still. Mew pulling ahead of the pack, ahead of Redstony and Quick Racer. I'm pretty sure this is personal best for Mew and Redstony in Cup of the Day. And none of them are going for this risky jump into the finish. Mew leads at the moment with a 44.4. Quick Racer and Redstony both, I think, going to want to improve those times. It is only 1 elimination in this round. Maki puts a 43.9. Sandals the jump to the finish at 43.6. A very good time from Sandals. As we see Kern Cobb coming into this tube section here. Kern's only going to get 1 attempt at this finish. It'll be interesting to see if he goes risky or not. A little bit of a higher entrance than I do. Pretty good speed. Not the fastest I've seen, but pretty good. Sandals is 3rd fastest in the world with that time. And Kern Cobb is going to go safe. I think a wise decision just to get a time on the board. It is still a sub 44. So we see Mackie coming around this section now. Sandals as well looking for a second time. Ooh, Mackie struggling a little bit to get out of the wall ride. Is going to do another slow finish. Sandals jumping to the finish. No improvement, but doesn't need it. He is in 1st place. Quick Racer is the one that needs a time. And I don't see him coming to the finish. I see him having a little fun in the spiral here. So Quick Racer out in 6th place. Sandals leading the duo of Mackie and Kern Cobb in this round. And Redstony and Mew without a cup win, without a podium even. It'll be nice for them to... Any additional rounds they make is going to be very nice for them. Mew also, I think, has the mod that changes your name color every time. I think we saw 1 reset early. So around the first spiral they go into the loop. Still 4 people on their first runs. Mackie, Redstony, Kern Cobb, Mew. Mew cuts down very early. Very early on that wall ride. Stays higher along this one. Redstony having a little bit of issues getting out of the wall ride. We got 3 going for the risky. All 3 making it. And that's the difference between being in and being out right now, is Mew, the only one to go safe, does have the slowest time on the board. You gotta imagine Sandals is going to be able to go faster than that. Sandals also going for the risky and making it. So we've got 4 people going for the risky, and Mew probably being forced into it now on this run. Ooh, just enough time to reset. Does hook a wheel on the inside. Has just enough time. Redstony, the other one that needs an improvement right now, not feeling comfortable with where Mew is. And Redstony resets too late, so it's Mew or Redstony in this round. What is the personal best? Mew has a 44.416. Of course, the time she used to knock me out. It would be enough to get into the top 4 if she can get that run again. Kerncobb and Mackie with insane times again. Oh, a little wheel hook there. She might have gotten away with it. What's the speeds down here? Nah, it was only mid 170s around that wall ride. Was not going to be enough. Taking the Quick Racer centrifuge around the inside here. So Mew knocked out in 5th place. Kerncobb, Mackie, Sandals, and Redstony the top 4. Is that a personal best from Redstony? No, a 44.0 is their personal best. And that's, I think, a time like that or better is going to be needed to get into the top 3. Kerncobb still goes very high on the wall ride. That is kind of what I was doing. Yeah, different lines at the beginning. What is that? Ooh, just ticking 194 speed at the bottom of the hill. So Kernmaki and Sandals all stay a little bit higher on that wall ride, almost setting up for the left-hand turn. And they do have more speed than Redstony, so I suppose I should trust that line. We're seeing the 3 previous Cup of the Day winners having very similar lines to each other, as they are all passing Redstony now. Kerncobb goes safe. And Redstony misses the risky, so I guess that's the difference right now, although I would not feel super comfortable if I were Kerncobb right now with that safe time. It is better than Redstony's personal best, but not by much. And I think a 43 is necessary if we want to make it into the podium positions. Maki does set a very insane 43.4 again. Redstony with kind of an interesting line around the tubes. This isn't super great speed. That is world record, actually, the .449. I know Maki had set a .4 previously. So I think getting a perfect run, it seems like Maki is the fastest today. But there are some struggles in getting a perfect run on this map. Redstony with a 44.044 is not going to be enough, just barely behind Kerncobb, who does have a chance to improve as well. But Redstony will be knocked out in 4th place. And the 3 previous Cup of the Day winners go on to the top 3. Sandals and Kern looking for improvements. 1,000th of a second by Kerncobb. Lots of 4s and 0s on the leaderboard right now. So Mackie, Sandals, and Kerncobb the top 3. As I've mentioned previously, 22 wins apiece for Mackie and Kerncobb. Sandals with 3 wins. And a bunch of second places. This is definitely a very stacked top 3. It'll be difficult for any of them to get the win today. Sandals resets early. Ooh, Kern cuts in very early on that wall ride. They do kind of run middle here. Kern runs a little bit lower. I do like that line. Ooh, I think maybe had a little bit of issue coming out of that corner, though. Mackie with good speed again. Into the wall ride. 180 for being kind of middle wall ride is pretty good. Let's see. Ooh, a little struggle getting out of the wall ride, and they do have this risky jump to navigate into the finish. 43.7 is a good time, but is it safe with these guys? I know they've all put in .6s or better. There's a question of consistency. Sandals is a few speed down on Mackie at this point, but Mackie did have a rough ending. Let's see what Sandals' time is as he takes the jump to the risky finish. 44.1 is not safe. Kerncobb does have 2 attempts at the finish as well. Is going to go for the risky jump, at least on the first try. 43.9, so not great times by any of them, actually. We've seen all of them do a few tenths better than what they have on the board right now. Mackie coming in for a second finish. They are kind of separated across the track. Even more speed goes lower. Actually, pretty similar speed. Maki did have a struggle at the very end of his run, though, last time. This time he looks a bit smoother. A small improvement, a 0.713. So we've got Sandals entering the wall right a little bit rough. Does have a few more speed this time around, though. Kerncobb looking pretty good speed. You're going to see him dropping down into the wall right just up ahead. Oh, maybe you're not going to see him, actually. Sandals jumping to the finish. Improves to a 0.912. So Kerncobb needs an improvement here. Kern has done better times than that. Does he get it? Does he get the snipe? No, he does not. So Kerncobb will be eliminated in 3rd place. Can Sandals get his 4th win, or will Maki pass Kerncobb again for 1st place in the all-time Cup of the Day leaderboard? Into the finals we go. Sandals, he's been in a lot of finals recently, but they've often been 2nd place finishes. 8 2nd places to only 3 wins. Maki, 22 wins to 10 2nd place finishes. Sandals with an early reset. Maki not getting amazing speed, but the start doesn't seem to matter too much. A very nice smooth line getting very close to that wall that comes out. And wow, 203 I think is what I saw at the bottom of that hill. 159 is very good speed there. Sandals still going for resets at the very beginning. Possibly only going to take 1 run in the finals. Maki is going to take 2 runs there, and this is a very fast one to start. World record is a 0.449 by Maki himself. And if he hits this risky, this might be a difficult time for Sandals to beat. It is a 0.5. Sandals' personal best, I think, is a 0.6. 0.693. Nobody else has gotten within 2/10 of Maki's personal best within 1/10 of the time he's got on the board right now. So Sandals is going to need to have one heck of a run if he wants to get this win. 2:01 speed is good. A couple speed down on what Maki has, and Maki's going for 1 more run right at the end here. Not the cleanest into the wall right, but he's got good speed. I just don't think it's 0.5 pace, but it's a good run regardless. Let's see what the time is when he jumps into the finish here, taking this risky jump. Very low, and is actually going to miss it. I thought he was going to bounce in, but not going to get the risky finish jump. So Sandals is out, and just Maki takes the lead again with his 23rd Cup of the Day win. I think much slower speeds on this run. So probably not going to see an improvement here. Congratulations, Maki, back at the top of the leaderboard. If you want to see stats and results yourself, I always post the link to my spreadsheet in the description of my videos. And if you want to join Cup of the Day yourself... Ooh, Maki, I think, maybe got the finish that Sandals was trying to get with the death on the finish ring. Yeah, what Sandals is talking about in chat. If you want to join Cup yourself, join the CTR Discord, which will also be linked below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!